What's up guys, it's another day in the garage. I'm gonna hop back on the Jeep Wagoneer because I have a whole bunch of work waiting for me to get done. And folks, if you're just joining us, you have to go check out the previous video on the Jeep Wagoneer rebuild series. A whole lot of work has been done to get the vehicle to where it is. As you can tell from this video clips, it was completely destroyed and a whole lot more work has to be done to get it to where it needs to be. I am still not able to start this vehicle and that is my goal in this video. Let's get to work because we have quite a bit of it to get done. Now it's time to throw in the air cleaner box. And now the complete cooling system or air system is now fully set up. We have the bracket or the duct and the air cleaner and the main duct, so the throttle body, all of that is all good. Massive progress. Now I'm going to bring you guys outside to my make-do parts junkyard in the house where I have a whole bunch of parts of this Wagoneer when the vehicle was wrecked. I need to look at those pieces, move the hardware to the new ones, and then assemble the cooling system on this vehicle. I also just received a major delivery from the dealership, a whole bunch of parts. As you can see guys, I was not kidding. I have so much parts, brand new parts from the dealership for the Wagoneer. You can see boxes and boxes, and there's just so much stuff that needs to go on this vehicle to get it ready. But we need to get the cooling system done first. So let's head on outside, look at the original cooling system that's damaged, and figure out how to put together the new one. All right, so lots of damaged pieces as you can see over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, so 4 rads of cooling system and the fan. So I need to figure out how this all gets put together so we can get it assembled with the new ones. It's time to get digging in there for our 5 components for the cooling system. And there we have it, the completely assembled cooling system. That was a mission. So many pieces. As you can see, the other ones was completely destroyed. This transmission cooler was probably reusable, but not worth the risk. We have a brand new one. Everything is in no good condition for sure. There's lots of hoses, lots of connections to be done. So without wasting any time, let's bring this over to the vehicle and start securing it on. Well guys, you can see it for yourself. Major progress over here. The cooling system is fully installed. Almost all the lines are fully plumbed. Fan is connected, more grounds are connected. Big progress. I do have one little issue. When I ordered the cooling system for this vehicle, I decided to go with the heavy duty rad. Unfortunately, I thought it was going to be a plug and play rad, but it isn't, and I'm going to show you why. So if we go down in here over by the wheel well, you will see that there is one plug over there that's not connected to anything, and that's because that's the difference. It's one on this side and one on the other side. So basically what I found out is that there's an additional cooling system that goes over here. Number 4 and number 3 are the brackets that's required to mount number 6. This is additional cooling system. And then these two hoses over here go from the ports at the bottom of the radiator to this other radiator. and you have the baffles that direct air to this rad. So I'm going to need to go ahead and order all of these parts to be able to fully utilize this heavy duty cooling system I've ordered. The rad is bigger, and I guess it has an additional hose that goes to something. I'm not sure what it is, which this vehicle does not, so I'm going to need to get plugs for both sides to secure that in place. But other than that, everything went on pretty okay. I would say everything is plumbed, secured. I'm missing one grommet or one insulator that the rad actually sits on. That's been ordered, obviously. It's a little piece. I can throw that in, no problem. Now it's time to tackle a major issue. So over in this box over here are my junk pads, and as you can see, we have the brake fluid reservoir over here. It doesn't belong here. This reservoir belongs over on the ABS pump over there. So now comes the tough part, getting in there, trying to replace the complete ABS pump. What I might do is swap in a new reservoir and a new ABS module. Because like I pointed out already before, the damage doesn't just stop at the reservoir, the module is also cracked. And I'm sure there's brake fluid in there and I don't know the extent of the damage. So I'm going to need to pop that off, install a new one. I believe that's going to need to be programmed, but let's see if we can get this vehicle started. Because obviously to start this vehicle, you need to actuate the brake pedal to push the start button. And if there is no brake fluid or no brake pressure, the vehicle is not going to start. So let's get that going. Now over in this box over here is my replacement ABS pump right in there. And guys, there you have it. I've completely separated this. I don't need this piece. My piece is good on the vehicle. Those are the two pieces I need. Before I install this, I'm going to go ahead and clean some of the suits off these pieces. And then it's going to be quite difficult installing this because I did not realize that this bottom piece has to come off before you can get that module out of the side. So that's going to be very, very fun trying to get that done on the vehicle because there's no room to get that done. But let's get to work. Alrighty guys, that was a mission, but I believe we're ready to remove this module now. Oh, almost there. Looks like it's getting cut on the heat shields. I think that has to come off too. I'll get that off quickly. And now guys, I have the damaged brake module out. As you can see, nasty crack all across it. It doesn't look like there's any fluid in here, but then again, that's a different compartment in there. So this is a replacement one that's gonna go on the vehicle. Wow guys, that took a minute. As you can see, I have the new ABS module installed. The new reservoir plate underneath is fully reinstalled again. I do have to get a cover for this ABS module because it broke. I'm guessing that broke from the accident. But right now the issue is now this system needs to be bled and this vehicle needs a pressure bleeder. I have a vacuum bleeder, so I'm not sure if that's going to work, but I'm going to try it out. So I'm going to fill this with some brake fluid, start bleeding the brakes from the farthest one, which is the right passenger, and the left passenger side, then the front right, and then the driver's side. Quite a bit of work, and get to it. Hey guys, it's the next day here and we have a problem. So as you can see, I was trying to bleed the brakes on this vehicle, and then if I go down over here, I'm going to show you what happened. So this brake line, it made a popping sound and it started leaking, and as you can see, I just called it a night. I had a catch can over here, and that's a lot of brake fluid. So I'm super happy I did that. Brand new brake fluid that's leaking. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit, attempt to figure out why that's leaking, and then hopefully we can bleed the brakes and get this vehicle started.
Much later.
Okay, it looks like we have power. Yeah, no locks and unlock. Let's see. First start. So now in the vehicle. Nothing. Obviously the dash is lit up, but wow, nothing. Yeah, this one's gonna take a minute, guys, because I have absolutely no idea at this point.
Several days later.
Alrighty, guys, it's another day in the garage. So the Jeep Wagoneer with the 3-liter engine has two different radiators. It has the standard rad and it has the heavy duty rad that comes with the heavy duty tow package, which this vehicle is not equipped with. But I wanted to fit on the bigger rad, so I put the bigger rad on. With doing that, I had some outlets that goes to nothing, which I obviously pointed out. We have that one that I just installed a cap on and a similar one on the other side. Not to backtrack a bit, this rad cost me $60 more than the rad that would originally go in this vehicle. So I decided to order the proper rad, brackets and hoses that will make this a proper cooling system. Meaning, I'm not going to be installing these plugs on the vehicle. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the one over there. I'm going to hang on to it because I'm sure I'm going to need it in the future for a different project. And then those rads have been ordered. It should hopefully be coming in today or tomorrow. I hope it comes in today so I can throw it in and know for sure I'm done with the cooling system. In the meantime, we have this wiring harness. So this is the front end wiring harness. As you can obviously see, there is some damages. This is one. That's another one over there. And a couple ripped sections over here. I have been able to figure out exactly how this goes. As you can also see, there is some damage to the connector over here. So my idea is to hardwire this harness to this one, switch out the connectors because I have some pigtails that came with the washer reservoir, splice that into the original harness, and then just have this as part of the vehicle. We'll no longer have this connector over here because it's in no good condition. And I can't buy this connector separately for some reason. So that's what I'm going to do. And there you have it, guys. As you can see, I've made all the connection. I've deleted that connector that was damaged. That's it on the floor over here. The second one is here somewhere, but everything is fully secured. I'm gonna go ahead and tape this off and then I can secure this harness. We still have more splicing to do in here, but this is much easier than this. We just received some new delivery. That is our new cooler. Those are the hoses, the brackets. I'm gonna have a picture up in the video so you can know exactly what this is supposed to look like. So now it's time to start opening this stuff up. Attempt to mount it on the Wagoneer. Obviously this vehicle did not come with one, so let's get fitting. I have the cooler fully installed. It's fully secured now. I'm super happy I went this route instead of just going the cheap way, plugging out those holes. This way I have additional cooling when I tow. So I'm really happy I just spent that extra money and got it done right since I already started it anyway. Brackets went on really good. Everything is secured. It's almost like it was meant to be. I believe anyone can do this to their Wagoneer if they really want it. You just need to change out the rad to the heavy duty one. Have the new cooler, the bracket, the hoses, and you're pretty much good to go. So over in the front where we're working on the harness, as you can see, harness is fully secured. I have it going in behind the radiator support, coming out here. The washer tank or washer reservoir is also fully plugged in. Horn is plugged in. Hood latch is also connected. Now over here is the hood switch. I have a replacement one, brand new. I also picked that up from the dealership. Just gotta disconnect it, plug it in here, and we should be good, except we have one final damaged connector on this harness. And I know exactly what this is for. Now over here in our parts warehouse, in here is our grill shutter. I think I showed this guys before, but this is what it looks like. So it closes, opens based on the vehicle's ECU. The ECU sends those commands. But this is the piece that goes up front over there. As you can see, it's a brand new one from Jeep. So this piece just slaps on over here like so. That connector, like I shown, that goes right in here is damaged. Unfortunately for me, this is another connector that I cannot get from Jeep or Chrysler, Stellantis, whatever they call themselves, because it's just not on their catalog just yet. But I was playing around. I have quite a bit of vehicles I'm working on, and it occurred to me to look at another vehicle with a similar grill shutter. Now over here is the harness from the parts vehicle, and I found the exact same connector, which is this one. This is the connector for the grill shutter on a 2018 Ford Taurus, and it happens to be the exact same one Jeep Wagoneer. So I'm sure you can already guess what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut the connector from this Ford Taurus and splice it into this Jeep Wagoneer. Connector is cut. I've opened up the wires. I'm gonna go ahead and connect everything, secure this harness so we can plug it into the brand new grill shutter. Okay, and there we have it. Harness is fully secured now. Looking beautiful, looking just beautiful. So now let's go ahead and mount up the brand new shutter grill. Install the new switch, and it's right over there. There we have it. Now I'm going to install the new switch. Excellent, just like so. Now installing the shutter grill, or the grill shutter, whatever way you call it. Goes on like so, right over here. And down in here, I'm gonna secure the connector harness, and then plug in the actual connector. Now with the grill shutter installed, the ambient air temperature is also installed. Everything is all wired up. I'm going to install these two bolts over here. These are the upper right support bolts. It took a while to come in. One goes over there and one goes over there. As you can see, they're especially long, very unique. So I had to order them in. And the other over here. We are making really good progress on the Jeep. I am super excited. The front end is starting to look like a vehicle right now. It's just amazing. I'm super happy about that. But we are not done. There's still quite a bit of parts to throw on this vehicle. Actually, quite a lot of parts to throw on this vehicle. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the front bumper or the reinforcement bar for the front end. And then I'm also going to install the air dam. It's a very unique piece. It was very expensive. It's very important to have it on this vehicle. So those two parts are going to go on the front end of the vehicle coming up right now. All right, over here is the air dam I'm talking about. And over here is the front impact bar. So we're going to go ahead and open these boxes up. And there we have it with the box open up. You can see what I'm referring to. It's a big old piece that needs to be plugged in. So let's get that going. So I currently cannot find the proper hardware for this air dam unit. So I'm going to go ahead and install the reinforcement bar that goes up front. And then I need to look for a proper hardware, and I also need to look for a connector, because the connector looks to be very similar to the connector for the grill shutter. Or if we go over here, yep, that's it, completely ripped off. So that does me no good. So I got to figure something out for that one. So we have two connectors unaccounted for. Big progress. So just two out of the many damaged wiring on this vehicle, we're down to just two. Now guys, I have found hardware for all this mounting location for the air dam. This is a pretty cool system. What this does is that at highway speeds, it comes down to make the vehicle more aerodynamic. And in the city, it goes back up and tucks in place. Pretty cool system. I don't have the connector like I said just yet. I have ordered the pigtails. When that comes in, I'm just going to wire it up and connect it. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and secure this all the way down in there. Now at this point, working on the Wagoneer, it's time to throw some coolant in the vehicle, but you can't just go and throw coolant in the vehicle traditionally. You need to vacuum fill it. So let's get it going. Obviously, first we're gonna set up the tool, and then we're gonna pull vacuum, make sure there's no leak, and then we can refill the coolant system. All right, so I've allowed this to sit for about 5-6 minutes and it's still held vacuum. It has not moved a bit, so we have no coolant leaks, which is really good. Obviously, all the coolant system was replaced. Our rad hose was replaced because that one was ripped, and all the coolant reservoir was also replaced. So there is no leaks. I'm super happy about that. Now I'm gonna grab the refill hose. We're gonna put it in the new jug of coolant, connect it up, and watch it vacuum fill. That's good. Then feed the hose into the jug over here, and as soon as we open the valve, then I'll have coolant going through the system. Just like that. You want to keep an eye on this because you don't want to pull air back into the system. That would not be good. There you can see it's filling up the coolant system. This is the best way to get this done for sure. And guys, just like that, the main coolant system is completely vacuum filled. As you can see on the gauge, it's down to 0. We have coolant now, just a little bit below the max full line, so I can just top that off. Now I'm gonna go ahead and repeat the same thing on the secondary coolant tank, which this is basically for just cooling the turbos. So we don't need to run up to 20. I think just 10 is gonna be good enough, and we can check for vacuum, make sure there's no leak, and fill it up. And now guys, as you can see, I have BUILDZ cooling system now completely refilled. You can obviously hear the coolant pump currently going in the background. That is going to bleed the low pressure coolant tank. So that's all good. The next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is a quick oil change, because this vehicle does not have a dipstick, unfortunately. I don't really like that design, but it is what it is. And in order for me to run this comfortably, I need to know that there is the right amount of oil in the engine. And at this point, I do not know, because like I said, there's no dipstick and there's no way to check it out right now because the vehicle is not running. So I'm going to drain that oil, throw in the specified amount of oil, and then I know for sure when I'm able to get this vehicle started, I have the right amount of oil in the vehicle.
Much later.
And now as you can see, we've completely done an oil change in this vehicle. We've drained the old oil, we have brand new oil now in here. So that's really, really good. Now the next thing to get done is replacing that bracket. You can see it still has the yellow tape over there, indicating there's still something wrong with it. Now in this box, I just received a bunch of parts from the dealership, and here is that bracket. So we need to remove this resonator, or the air duct, which is also called an air resonator, which is very interesting. I'll remove this other pipe, get down in there, and replace that bracket. All right guys, over here as you can see, we have done the wiring repair for the air dam, which is this bumper thing that, like I said, goes down and up based on the vehicle's speed. So that repair is done, wire is secured, and now we have obviously another wiring repair, never ending on this vehicle. So this connector actually goes to the front bumper harness, which is very interesting because it connects over here. And if we go over to this side, on the right side, as you can see, it connects. We have the harness, and it also has another connection that goes to the left side of the vehicle. Bunch of things needs to be plugged in, but if I bring that harness over here, you can see that's where it should also connect onto the vehicle. So over here I have the harness and I've opened up the connector. So the connector goes on both sides, one over here, one over there like I mentioned. And I've opened up the connector that goes on the driver's side, and there is 7 wires. I've looked at it and the wires are pretty much the same color as the ones over here. So I'm guessing they go to each other. So black would go to black, white would go to white, etc. So my goal is to hardwire it because obviously I do not have a connector that's going to go here. The dealership cannot help me with that. So I'm going to hardwire it. The only disadvantage is that when you pull the bumper, instead of having a connector to disconnect over here, you're going to need to disconnect all the sensors and fog lamps and remove the bumper separately. That's the only disadvantage. And then the wire stays with the vehicle. So not terribly bad. I think it's the best way to go and just have this all secured. So I'm going to go ahead and hardwire this. I'm not going to film it because you guys have for sure seen me do enough wiring repairs on this vehicle. I'm already sick of it if you ask me. So I'm going to get that done, cut you guys back in and show you what it looks like. Now, as you can see, I've done all the wiring repair. If the camera is going to focus. There we go. Everything is soldered. It's completely sealed. Now I'm going to go ahead and tape everything up, secure this wiring harness, and we should be good. And guys, that's all the time I have for this video. As you can tell, a lot of work has been done on the Wagoneer, and a lot more work has to be done to get it to where it needs to be. I'm still waiting for quite a bit more parts, and when those parts come in, I'm going to continue tackling this rebuild. On that note, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed these videos, drop a like, comment, all that fancy stuff, and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more of this stuff. And I will see you guys on the next one.